Murder trial as the disgraced attorney was back on the stand, being pummeled by the prosecutor, portraying him as a drug addict, a thief, and a liar, but most of all, a murderer. But as Les Trent reports, Murdaugh told the court they have the wrong man.
Alex Murdaugh tells a jury he didn't kill his wife and son, but thinks he knows who did.
I did then believe it was the boat wreck, and I believe now that the boat wreck had something to do with it.
He claims it was connected to a fatal boat crash in which his son Paul was charged with boating under the influence, resulting in the death of a 19-year-old friend.
The person or people who did what I saw on June the 7th, they hated Paul Murdaugh, and they had anger in their heart.
The prosecutor ridiculed the claim.
So we've got random vigilantes because of the boat wreck.
Now, I don't know that they're random vigilantes.
There was also plenty of tension in court today.
Mr. Murdaugh, are you a family annihilator?
A family annihilator? You mean like, did I shoot my wife and my son?
Yes.
No.
Murdaugh claimed his addiction to painkillers made him paranoid and lied to cops about his whereabouts that night.
Oxycodone, they're probably mixed in with some OxyContin.
So you're taking 60 a day or something like that?
There were days where I took more than that. There were days I took less than that.
They are going head to head. Clearly, they don't like each other, and it's a lot of tension in that room.
So how's Murdaugh doing on the stand? Opinion is mixed.
There's a lot of this that seems contrived, and it seems as though he's directly playing to the jury to play on their sympathies.
This prosecutor is getting out-lawyered by his witness.
He certainly came across as someone who could not bear the loss of his wife and his child.
How to get away with Murdaugh, says today's New York Post front page, calling his denials dubious. I spoke to prominent jury consultant Dr. Jo Ellen Demetrius. How do you think he's doing?
Personally, I think he is acting.
Murdaugh's use of his pet name for his son Paul is also being questioned by the prosecutor.
Paw and I had already had a discussion. Maggie was very concerned about Paw. I'm sorry to Mags and Paw.
The prosecutor seemed skeptical.
Is today the first time I've called my son Paw? No, sir, that is not correct.
It sounded, I think, somewhat manufactured, in particular because he'd never used that phrase before in any of the other interviews.
He is attempting to endear himself to this jury by using this term of endearment, but the bottom line is, if he hasn't used this, then that's a big problem for him.
Even if Murdaugh is found not guilty of the murders, he could still spend decades in prison for the litany of financial crimes he's charged with.